So the date is Sunday, February 27th. The year is 2022. My name is John Molden, owner of Blood, Sweat, and Tears Concrete. And these are my co-hosts, Carly and Magnus Molden.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
This is No Crying in Concrete. For our first episode, we're going to cover a few things you may want to consider when prepping for your upcoming concrete project. Anyways, Carly.
Yes.
If you were going to do a project in this yard, a big project, what would be your main concern?
My main concern would be my dog, Daisy.
What about Daisy would you be concerned with?
She could get hurt, or she could be let out on accident, and it could just be very unsafe for a pet.
Yeah. Of course, all of us pet owners want to keep our pets safe. When it comes to concrete, there's rebar, nails, stakes, screws, all sorts of things that can have real danger for pets. So if your yard won't have room for pets and a project at the same time, you know, if you can't just fence one part of your yard off, if you can't take the extra time to take walks with your pet during the day, you may have to consider, you know, actually boarding your pets at a remote location at a kennel. You know, none of us want to think about doing that, but what if we did that with Daisy, Magnus?
She would go nuts.
She would go nuts. Is that the understatement of the year or what? Yeah, she doesn't like being left, for sure. I mean, there would definitely be some crying going on that concrete, no doubt. So. But the good news is that the vast majority of our customers, they don't need to kennel their pets at all. They can just take a little extra time, bring them for extra walks, and make it more of a bonding experience rather than you know, being a total drag for the dog the whole time. So now, like I said, as we're doing this, we're hoping we'll have customers of ours watching primarily, but people all across the country are going to see this on YouTube and different places that we post it. So, you know, you may want to have a conversation with your contractor about bringing some temporary fencing in so they can fence off the area. I know Orville will have no problem bringing in orange fencing, fencing off whatever work area we're doing, and then leaving that up until the project is done so that your pet can stay safe. All I ask is that you have that conversation with them ahead of time when you're at the pre-job estimate confirmation meeting, so that he can get it in his notes and get it loaded on the truck when he brings it out. And make sure you have that conversation with your contractor as early as possible, so they can, you know, add it to the bill or at least have all the equipment with when they come. So Magnus, do you remember what happened just the other day down in the corner down here by Grandma's that ended up coming into our yard?
Yes.
What was that?
Big water.
Yeah. There was a utility crew right down here the other day boring cable in, I think, or something. And they hit a water main, and all that water ended up coming through our yard. And it really reminded me just how important utility location is. Some contractors will take it upon themselves to call it in. I know my brother in Minnesota, he calls it in and you know, gets that squared away ahead of time. What we do is ask our customers to call it in 72 hours beforehand, and that stems from me forgetting to do it a couple times because I had too much going on. We figure you've got one project going on, we put that on you, and people have had no problem doing it. But anyways, what I'm getting at is, even if you're having another contractor do it, it's not a bad idea to volunteer to make that call. It's just, here it's 811, and you call, and it's a free service. They come out, mark all of your utilities, and when we get out there to do our excavation, we know we need to hand dig within a certain distance of the lines and all that sort of thing. So. It's kind of a big deal. Anyways, we asked that you do it 72 hours ahead of time. It's supposed to be able to be done in 48 hours. But we have run into a few times over the years where they couldn't get everything marked, so we go out in 72 hours. So Carly, do you remember the last time that the power went out here?
I do.
And what was the worst part of that, do you think?
It was it was super dark in the house, and it was cold that night, and it was just uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was a little bit freaky, huh?
Yeah.
Just out of your element. We had to have candles burning all over the place. It was just kind of eerie, you know?
That was definitely scary, seeing candles in the dark.
Yep. So not a single one of us want to have our power interrupted. We surely don't want the danger, and there can actually be danger if somebody were to hit a broken or break a gas line or something like that. It can be a real dangerous sort of thing. So, anyways, I think I beat that one to death enough. So Carly, can you imagine what would happen if one of the guys broke your mom's hummingbird feeders or your grandma's wind chimes when they were working by them?
It would not be very good.
It wouldn't be pretty, would it? No. Mommy might turn a couple different shades of red. So, I guess what we're getting at here is, before we get to your job site, please relocate any of your prized possessions. You know, as a policy, we actually take and move all the fragile objects away from the work area. But I think that's pretty rare as far as concrete crews go. So, you know, no matter how careful your crew is, accidents are going to happen. You know, we're kind of in the heat of the battle there, you know. So, the big lesson there is a handle on a finishing tool can't break your favorite flower pot if you've got it put away. And if you can't move it, if it's too heavy for you, if you need help, just let Orville know, and or any of the guys know, and they're going to be more than happy to help you move it out of the way when they get there. So Magnus, what is it we have to make sure we do every Sunday night before we go to bed? To make sure that Orville doesn't park in the wrong spot.
Yes.
Yeah, but how do we do that? What are we doing every Sunday night?
We have to put the garbage cans out so he doesn't park in the wrong spot.
Well, we have to put them out for Monday morning anyways. And if we get them on Sunday night, then we don't have to, and Orville doesn't have to remember neither. So it works out for everybody. But, you know, be sure to plan ahead for your scheduled services. If your garbage cans need to go out while the concrete is fresh poured right in its path, you know, make sure that move gets done before it becomes an issue. And our guys are always more than willing to help. You know, sometimes you get a full garbage can and you need to move it over some rebar or over some forms and stuff. You know, don't take it upon yourself. Just ask the guys to do it for you. They're going to be way more than happy to help you with that. So, hey Carly, can you think of any other services people have besides garbage collection?
People have pool service or like recycling, or there are just so many different services that people can have. Concrete service. Yeah, mainly like pool service and stuff like that. That they have to. I don't know how to describe it.
Who do you know who has pool service come?
My Aunt Tammy.
Yeah. Our the chief of our door hanger crew, Tammy Flynn, she's got pool service. We were working in her house a while back, and we were right in the pathway of where the pool guy had to go. And you know, they had to make sure they called him, told him that he wasn't gonna be able to get through there that day, so he could, you know, either reschedule or they had to be there to let him come through the house. Put on your list of services and make sure that they're all notified ahead of time. So Carly, do you have any idea how long a car has to stay off of a new driveway after we finish it?
Maybe 24 to 48 hours.
Well, not quite. That would be a little bit quick, but it's usually 1 to 2 weeks, kind of depending on the temperature outside. When in the coldest part of the year, it can be up to 14 days, about as far as it goes out. But and obviously, if you're using your car every day and we're coming to do your driveway, you know that you've got to get it out of there and it's got to stay out of there the whole time. But what sometimes people might forget to get a golf cart out, or you know, some toy that they're going to use on the weekend or whatever. And if we pour on Friday afternoon and you want to get your side-by-side out of there, you know, you're not going to be able to use it that weekend. So just think of the things in your garage that are going to have to come out, and you know, make sure it happens. What else might you want to get out of a garage before a new driveway goes in, Carly? What would you want to get out?
You might want to get out a baby stroller, or really any or if you have like a big piece of equipment that you're gonna have to get out of there and possibly use over the weekend. If you can't bring that through the house, then you might want to get that out as well.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's heavy. You know, I mean, if you want to get it out the afternoon we pour, it can be something like a baby stroller, and that can pose a problem, you know. So, you know, think it over. Look at your garage, make sure you're not going to need something. And if you do need to get something out and we didn't get it done in time, we'll try to help you if we can. But, you know, we're not going to let you scratch our concrete. All right, so Magnus, have you ever tripped over something because you weren't used to it being there?
Yes.
Like you've been in this place, you've walked this way 100 times, and all of a sudden you fall over something. That's happened to you? Yeah. You know, while your job is going on, you know, after it has started, it's a good idea to put reminders out for yourself. You know, you may have walked out that back door, put a leash on the dog, and walked out the side gate for the last 5 years every day. And it's just second nature, you don't even think about it. Well, now when you take that step out the back door, if there's, you know, no concrete there where there used to be, or the step has changed somehow, you know, we'd hate to see you get hurt. So what we ask that you do is just ask us for a piece of caution tape, and I know the guys are really good about just giving you one and having you put it up, but if your contractor's there, ask them for a piece or two of caution tape. You can put it across the doorway, and you know, you're going to be doing really well. Anything you want to add to that?
Nope, not really.
Well, if that's it, then thank you for taking the time to watch. We'll be back next Sunday from the backyard kitchen, answering more questions you didn't know you needed to ask about concrete. Remember, there's no crying in concrete other than tears of joy brought about by a job well done. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye everyone. Thanks for taking time to watch.